Welcome back to Yoshi Entertainment, everybody. So I'm sure everybody has recently heard all of the allegations and the things that have been going on with the Breakfast Club and DJ Envy and his alleged business partner by the name of Cesar Peña. Now I have to say allegedly because, certain people like to allegedly do things and then file lawsuits on people for defamation for trying to blow the whistle on them for doing said things. But anyways, to make a rather long and wild story short, basically DJ Envy partnered up with a man by the name of Cesar Peña. Now this man admitted, because he was invited by DJ Envy to sit on the Breakfast Club, and he said this out of his own mouth, that not too long ago and not too long before he had decided to sit down with DJ Envy and the Breakfast Club, basically he was in prison, and everything he learned about real estate, drum roll please, he learned from a guy that was in prison allegedly for being a con man. He then goes on to, I guess, become some sort of real estate agent, real estate businessman, like I said, partnering with DJ Envy, and then proceeded to basically have a Ponzi scheme going on. Like I said, I have to say allegedly, even though, we all know allegedly what happened. Involved so many different people, not just black people, but white people as well. Scammed so many people out of tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars. Allegedly, it was something to the effect of $16 million he scammed out of all these people combined. Because DJ Envy used his platform, The Breakfast Club, to promote this man upon multiple occasions, and there were people, victims, who came forth to the news networks, the media networks, and said, DJ Envy, please take accountability, because we wouldn't have even gotten involved with this man had it not been for you telling us about him to begin with. The FBI, allegedly, raided the Breakfast Club. They seized multiple electronic devices because they have to basically do an investigation. Like I said, because DJ Envy brought him on there, now all of them are involved. Of course, the government, the FBI, has to do their own jobs, their, due diligence, so to speak, to make sure that the Breakfast Club wasn't also involved or had their hand in the Ponzi scheme, allegedly. It's all really a big mess, and then looking at the victims, it just makes it even worse. And a lot of people were making fun of them, but at Yoshi Entertainment, we don't make fun of people who have been scammed, because if it's anything we don't like over here, it's scammers. I cannot stand scammers. They are some of the worst people, if you ask me, on the face of this planet. And quite frankly, I'm going to go ahead and say it. I think that there's a special VIP section in hell for people who like to scam people. There are people who know how to manipulate individuals. They know how to prey on people who might not be mentally strong, emotionally strong. They might be vulnerable. They might not know all of the information. There are people who know how to get people. Now, do some people use a lack of judgment? Do they have a lapse of judgment? Yes. But if we're going to make fun of anybody, or if we're going to drag anybody, it needs to be the person victimizing people, manipulating people, scamming people. Maybe if we did that more often, and maybe if we put more pressure on the scammers, maybe, just maybe, less of this kind of stuff would happen. Just maybe. But anyways, there were a few things that really just rubbed me the wrong way, annoyed me, to be completely honest. For one, first of all, I don't want to see another video, another podcast, another Twitter post, another Instagram live talking about how women don't take accountability, because DJ Envy has become the poster child for a lack of accountability. He set his goofy behind up on the Breakfast Club and admitted out of his own mouth that he called 3 people after Cesar Peña approached him with this little Ponzi real estate scheme, if you will, allegedly. All 3 of them gave him unfavorable responses that he should have listened to, or at least taken into consideration. One of those 3 people was Joe Budden. Now, like I've said on a multitude of my videos, y'all should know how I feel about all these people. They're all raggedy. That's just the plain truth. Although even Joe Budden said, bruh, that's a scam. And instead of listening to Joe Budden, what does he do? Think he know it all. And decides, you know what, I'm going to do it anyways. Like, you just think it's a scam because you don't know any better. Literally, he said, you just need to be taught. That's what you need. First of all, how are you going to teach somebody something that you don't even know? One must know the subject that you intend to teach before you teach it. And the person that he called himself trying to learn it from, Cesar Peña, had no formal education, did not go to school to learn this stuff, had no degree in this field. Nevertheless, he decides to trust this man. I guess they became friends allegedly, business partners allegedly. He brings him on to his platform, The Breakfast Club, multiple times, marketing him to his followers, exposing his followers to him, talking about, I'm doing this for my community. I want my community to eat and make more money and blah, blah, blah. This, blah, 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 that. Running whole seminars and classes, if you will. To this day, I've yet to understand what he even knew or learned about real estate to be able to even do all of this stuff in the first place anyways. But there was a man by the name of Tony the Closer who I guess caught on to what was going on. He heard a few people here and there that the guy had already scammed, who didn't get their money back, who could not get a hold of him, because I guess the common pattern was he would get these people's money. They would invest tens of thousands, like I said, or hundreds of thousands of dollars. And then he eventually would just, fall off the grid, if you will, stop communicating, and they could not get their money back, their investment back. And basically, Tony the Closer tried to blow the whistle on this guy and even confronted DJ Envy about it, which is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to confront people within the community when something is going wrong, when they're doing something, whether they realize whether it's wrong or not, that's irrelevant. A confrontation must happen. And how does he respond? By filing a defamation lawsuit against Tony the Closer for basically trying to warn people about them, the rate that they were going with this stupid foolishness, people losing their money, because there were people investing their life savings, allegedly, like money that they had stashed away that they could have been using right now for something else that's now gone and they probably won't be able to get back. And it was sad because there was a black man on the news who had just lost not too long ago his son, and he was, I guess, trying to help take care of his grandsons. And there was some money that I think that his son, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm remembering the story correctly, that his son had invested in this Ponzi scheme, not knowing what was going on. And he was trying to get in contact with Cesar Peña to get that money back or the return investment. And he could not get in contact with this man. He was saying, I need that money back, or, whatever money I was supposed to make off of it to put back, in like maybe a trust fund for these kids that he left behind. And it's just really sad because this is the kind of stuff that people go through in these situations. Like, this is the chaos left in the wake of these kinds of schemes, these kinds of scammers, which is why I said they're the worst people, some of the worst people. People were basically saying, like I said before, DJ Envy, please take some kind of accountability. Like, at least I'm sorry, I didn't mean for this to happen, I didn't see it, would have sufficed. Because like I said before, he used his platform that he claimed he wanted to help the community with. The community is his biggest supporters, if I'm not mistaken. The Breakfast Club is very popular. People were listening to him because they took his word for it. He said, oh, I'm here to help the community. I'm down for the community. The community this, pro-black that. And they listened to him instead of doing research on this guy he was partnered with. And then when everything went to the trash, he had nothing to say. They were saying, DJ Envy, please take some accountability. We would not have known who this man even was had not it been for you and your platform. Instead of apologizing, because he still brought the dude onto his platform without doing research, without knowing if the guy was actually legit, without looking at any of the warning signs or listening to people who try to warn him about this guy, he keeps insisting that he has no fault in this. And also, he goes around, once again, like I said, filing defamation lawsuits on anybody who even insinuates that he might have actually known what was going on and just didn't care, or might have had a hand in it, allegedly. Now, I said before I wasn't going to make fun of the victims. I'm not going to drag them, despite what other people say and how other people feel, because we've all made bad decisions. We've all had a lapse in judgment. Okay, this could have been anybody. This could have been anybody's mom or dad or grandpa or grandmother. Okay, so I'm not going to make fun of them. Although there are some warning signs that were surrounding this situation that I would like to point out. Like I mentioned before, Cesar did not have a formal education. He did not go to school for real estate. And I know some people might say, well, hey, you don't have to go to school to learn about something. You can learn on your own. But once again, the man said out of his own mouth that he learned while he was in prison from an alleged con man inmate. Like I said, that was the first red flag right there. He was also going around telling people that he could get them a 30 to 40% allegedly return on their investment in 6 months to less than a year. Now, I don't know very much of anything about real estate, but instantly there were people saying that that is an indication that you're being scammed, because that is very unrealistic. It does not work like that. You have to do your research, and a lot of times, I hate to say this, but when it comes to stuff like this and your money, your life savings, your 401k, what you stashed away for a rainy day, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Or at least that's usually the case when it comes to these kind of financial issues with, like I said, the real estate business and investments, stuff like that, the stock market. Another red flag was this man was always dressed like some kind of social media influencer. I never saw the guy in a suit, and I could be wrong. Maybe he was in a suit at some point in time, but I never saw him in a suit. I never really saw him professionally present himself. Like I said, he was on social media. I saw in one post, I think it was with his brother, where they had like stacks of money on the counter, allegedly talking about that was, the money that they got from their tenants. Like I said, red flags all over the place. And one last red flag that I noticed, but this was after the fact, after he didn't already, had so many victims. So there was this one guy by the name of Augie Rios. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. He was basically telling the news how, he had invested X amount of money with Cesar Peña. And then, like I said, he fell off the grid, which was the common behavior amongst all these situations, all these people that he had, gotten into this. And then he kept calling him, trying to get in contact with him. He was like, oh, well, I don't have the money right now. Which I don't understand how you could not have the money right now when you were bragging about your tens of millions that you had on the Breakfast Club. Now you have all these tenants and people who are investing in you with their money, not your money, theirs. But anyways, basically gave him this jewelry. Take a look at this jewelry. I just want you to look at it for a few seconds. When I saw that jewelry, look how it says, not landlord. It says land trap lord. And this was the jewelry that he gave him, talking about this is worth a couple of tens of thousands of dollars. Not nearly enough to make up what he invested. Oh, but just keep this until I can get you the money back. Whenever I saw that jewelry, I was like, oh yeah, he's not getting that money back. He's not getting it back. Like I said before, a lot of people were dragging these victims because they were not understanding how they did not know that this was a trap, as that jewelry I just showed y'all insinuated. Why they didn't know, 30% to, like I said, 40% allegedly was a scam, was unrealistic. Maybe they were just, they were just looking at the dollar signs and they let it cloud their judgment. Maybe some of them, just weren't using their heads. But like I said, I'm not here to drag any of them. I'm not here to talk about them. I'm here to drag the two stooges who did this to these people. And that's these two individuals right here. But anyways, that dragation will be on the podcast on Patreon. If you want to hear it, all you have to do is sign up, subscribe, $3 a month. If you want to hear it, it'll be there. But anyways, y'all let me know what y'all think and how y'all feel down in the comments below respectfully about all of this. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Y'all have a blessed day.